What's up, nerds? So this is my last video for 2024, and I thought I'd bring you a best animated movies of the year. I'm also going to give you some of the worst animated movies of the year, and this is all in my opinion. Now, I just want to say if a movie didn't make this list, it's because I didn't see it. And also, if a movie is on my bottom where I just didn't care for it and you loved it, by all means have at it. But this is just my thoughts on the movies that came out this year, all animated. We do have one that's like an animation live action blend, but whatever. Back off. So I'm gonna get started on this list and everything, and I'll see you on the other side. So some of my movies that I didn't care for this year that I thought were complete and utter garbage. Okay, the first one is Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim. Now screw the Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim, you guys. Okay, because this movie is an absolute disaster. Everything about it is a betrayal of Tolkien's legacy. And frankly, Hera is the poster child for why this whole thing fails. She's not some wild, headstrong warrior woman. She's selfish, manipulative, and the narrative seems to exist solely to shove her into the spotlight at the expense of everything we loved about Middle-earth. Now, the movie's pacing is sluggish, and it's painfully obvious that the writers tried to inject some modern woke sensibility into a world where those themes simply don't belong. This was supposed to be a slam dunk for Warner Brothers. And instead, they pulled a Rings of Power, completely missing the point of Tolkien's work. It's embarrassing that Peter Jackson's name is attached to this mess, and he should be pissed. And honestly, so should we. I mean, the heroic masculine values that made Lord of the Rings so iconic are stripped away in favor of a narrative where everything is man's fault. Because, Hera, knows better. It's not just disappointing, it's a slap in the face to Tolkien and his fans. And the entire genre, to be honest. This is an absolute waste of talent and a disgrace to the professor's legacy. And so the next bad movie animated this year was Spellbound. Ooh, all right, let's talk about Spellbound. And honestly, I don't know if I should be impressed or just frustrated. The film tries to do so much, but ends up feeling like a hodgepodge of mismatch ideas that never quite click. First off, the animation is stunning in places. No doubt about that. But the world building, it's a mess. We're thrown into this fantasy realm that looks cool, but doesn't feel lived in. Like, why are we supposed to care about these kingdoms if the stakes are never properly set? The character arcs are underdeveloped, with our protagonist being less of a hero and more of a passive bystander in her own story. Come on. I expected a lot more from a Pixar level production. And don't get me started on the pacing. Seriously, it drags when it should be firing on all cylinders. It's not horrible, but it's not one of those films where you end up wondering if the creators thought they were making a classic when really it's just honestly, it could have been a great movie if it picked a direction and stuck with it. It also kind of like in animation glorifies divorce, and I'm never okay with that. Okay, and so for my last bad movie, animated movie of 2024 is Flow. All right, you guys, so I'm going to piss off some of you with this Flow nonsense, and this is why I didn't like Flow. So these animators of this movie, they went around to all these awards voters, and they were like, we are from the Netherlands. There's only 3 of us, and we made this movie, and we made it in my mother's basement. We're not like those big animation studios. We made this movie, and you should give us a chance. And I'm all like, fucker, I can tell you made this in your mom's basement, because the animation is fucking dog shit in this movie. It looks like a 1995 version of a video game, and I'm all like, geez, oh, Pete, what pixel, is this or whatnot? Plus, not to mention, the story sucks. There's no dialogue in this movie, which I would be okay with if the movie wasn't horseshit. Okay, the pacing is so sluggish. Like the whole time I was bored. I'm like, I don't give a shit what happens to this cat, not one fucking bit. And And my kids kept asking me, quite like, where are they going? I don't fucking know. And I didn't care. They live in a world where there obviously was humans at some point in time, but they don't explain any of that shit because, animals don't talk. And it's just a slow, boring, not beautiful movie. So, again, I didn't care about this movie. I didn't care for this movie, but if you did, by all means, have at it. I won't be watching it again because I've got things to do. So yeah. Okay, you guys. So those were my bad movies of the 2024. I thought I'd get the negative out of the way so I could get to the positive. So now we're going to talk about my top 10 animated movies of the year. So coming in at number 10 is Ultraman Rising. Now, Ultraman Rising is an absolute blast for fans of kaiju and superhero action. Now, this film beautifully blends stunning CGI with the iconic Ultraman lore, delivering a high-octane, visually spectacular experience. Now, the fight scenes between Ultraman and the colossal monsters are intense and immersive, with each battle feeling like a true spectacle. Now, the character development is surprisingly engaging, and the storyline, while straightforward, keeps you hooked as Ultraman rises to the challenge of protecting humanity. With its mix of nostalgia and fresh modern flair, Ultraman Rising is a must-see for both longtime fans and newcomers to the Ultraman universe. And I remember watching Ultraman after school all the time. It was pretty great. All right, you guys. So coming in at number 9 is Kung Fu Panda 4. Now, Kung Fu Panda 4 is like a big bowl of noodles. Comforting, familiar, but this time with a few too many ingredients thrown in. Now, Jack Black's Po is still the heart of the franchise, and his performance keeps the film from totally going off the rails. The animation is as stunning as ever, with some fight scenes that'll make you go, whoa! But here's the thing. The story feels a bit forced, trying to juggle Poe's new role, a new villain with Viola Davis's Chameleon, and introducing a new character, Zen, voiced by Awkwafina. It's like they're trying to hit all of the nostalgia buttons while pushing for something new, but it doesn't all gel together really well. There's humor, there's heart, but the magic of the first three, not quite there yet. Still, for fans of the series or more who love Poe's unique blend of clumsiness and heroism, this is a fun watch, but don't expect the same kick as before. All right, so coming in at number 8 is If, aka Imaginary Friend. So, If is a heartwarming and thought provoking film that masterfully blends whimsy with emotional depth. The story centers on a young child navigating the complexities of friendship, loneliness, and imagination. And the way it explores the bond between a kid and their invisible companion feels both magical and deeply human. The performances are exceptional, particularly the child actor who brings a raw emotional authenticity to the role. The film's visual style is enchanting, using vibrant colors and creative effects to bring the imaginary world to life. If offers a fresh take on the concept of imaginary friends, making it a delightful yet poignant watch for viewers of all ages. All right, you guys, so coming in at number 7 is the Garfield movie. Okay, so the Garfield movie is a wild ride, but not in the way you'd expect from our lasagna-loving, Monday-hating feline. Chris Pratt as Garfield, honestly, it's not the disaster I thought it would be. They've given him a backstory with his dad, voiced by Samuel L. Jackson, which is kind of cool, but also feels like they're trying too hard to make Garfield into something like an action hero. The animation's vibrant, and there are moments where you'll chuckle, especially if you're a fan of the comic strips, which I am and love that stuff. But let's be real. The plot's all over the place with too many subplots and product placements that'll make you cringe. It's not the Garfield we've known for decades, more like a generic animated adventure with Garfield's name slapped on it. Now, if you're looking for that classic Garfield sarcasm and laziness, you might leave feeling like you've just had a Monday without the lasagna. All right, you guys, so coming in at number 6 is Moana 2. So, Moana 2, all right, where do I even begin with this one? I mean, honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of the first movie, so I wasn't expecting much. but I gave this sequel a shot. And yeah, it's fine. I mean, the animation is gorgeous, as expected, and the world building around the ocean is still super cool. But the story feels a bit tired and predictable. I mean, this time around. One of the biggest letdowns for me was the music. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it doesn't hold a candle to the iconic hits from the first film. I mean, the songs just didn't stick, and I found myself zoning out during a few of the sequences. I wanted more depth from the characters, but they kind of just repeated their old arcs without much evolution. Now, if you loved Moana, you'll probably enjoy this sequel. But for me, it didn't offer much new or exciting. Definitely not a must watch, but I still thought it was okay. All right, you guys. So coming in at number 5 is Inside Out 2. Now, Inside Out 2 nails it where the first one kind of flopped for me. I wasn't into the whole joy and sadness gig before, feeling like it was too simplistic to box someone into just a few emotions. But this sequel, it's like they took my notes and ran with them. We've got anxiety, envy, and all these new emotions showing up, which really captures the mess that is a teenage life. The animation is still top notch Pixar, in my opinion, but the story dives deeper into the emotional complexities of growing up. It's funny, it's heartfelt, and it doesn't just rehash the first film's journey. It expands on it in a way that feels both fresh and necessary. It's definitely a step up for me personally, making the whole animation control center in your head not just a gimmick, but a relatable metaphor. All right, you guys, coming in at number 4 is Despicable Me 4. Now, Despicable Me 4 takes everything you loved about the franchise, hilarious minions, Gru's awkward charm, and the heartwarming moments, and somehow cranks it up a notch. I mean, the plot hits that sweet spot between goofy and touching, with Gru facing new challenges that push him to grow as both a villain and a father. Now, the minions are, of course, the real scene stealers, delivering their signature chaos with just the right balance of slapstick and charm. The animation is top notch with vibrant visuals that pop on screen, and the pacing keeps things breezy without feeling rushed. Sure, it doesn't break any new ground in terms of storytelling, but honestly, it doesn't need to. If you're here for a fun, family friendly adventure with a lot of laughs, then Despicable Me 4 delivers exactly that. All right, you guys. So coming in at number 3 is Memoir of a Snail. Now, Memoir of a Snail is a stop motion masterpiece, folks. And I'm not throwing that word around lightly. Adam Elliott, the dude behind this, knows how to tug at your heartstrings while making you laugh at the absurdity of life. I mean, we've got Grace Puddle, this melancholic snail collector, navigating through the roller coaster of her life in the 70s Australia. The animation is just top notch, with every scene dripping with this raw emotional texture that's as beautiful as it is heartbreaking. And let's talk about the voice cast. Sarah Snook, Jackie Weaver, they bring these characters to life in a way that's just, I mean, chef's kiss. And I don't use that term all the time. This isn't just a film, it's an experience, a poignant reminder of the beauty in loneliness and the strength in moving forward. Now, if you're into stories that blend humor with the heavy stuff, this is your jam. All right, you guys. So coming in at number 2 is Transformers 1. I know you're all like, Transformers 1? What are you talking about? But Transformers 1 is a surprisingly engaging origin story that captures the essence of what makes the franchise special, especially for its youngest fans. Now, I'm not a diehard Transformers guy, but the kid behind me at the movie theater was like over the moon, and he declared that this movie was his favorite film. And also, my son really liked it a lot. And that says a lot about its appeal to its core demographic. Now, the movie, directed by Josh What's-His-Face, who's jumped over from Pixar, really brings a Toy Story vibe to the table, especially in how it portrays Orin Pax and D16's dynamic, akin to Woody and Buzz. Now, the third act, where we witness the transformation of Optimus Prime and Megatron, was genuinely moving. Even for someone like me who isn't fully invested in this lore, I just thought it was great. Now, the visuals, while sometimes overly busy, are spectacular, especially with the world building sequence in Iron City, which was both cool and calming. The voice cast, including Chris Hemsworth and Brian T. Henry, delivers top notch performances, with Henry particularly standing out, portraying D16's shift to Megatron. However, some casting choices like Steve Buscemi felt a little bit off. For non-fans, there's enough here to appreciate. The humor for Keegan-Michael Key as a pre-voice box Bumblebee, the engaging Ion 5000 race, and the emotional depth of the story. But the film's complexity in visuals and mythology might not fully resonate unless you're a fan. Still, the themes and lessons are universally appealing, making it a good watch for families, even if the parents might find themselves less engaged than their kids. So if you're a Transformers fan or you're looking to introduce a little one to the franchise, this movie is a solid choice. It might not make you a fan, but it'll certainly make you appreciate the depth and the potential of Transformer storytelling in animation. All right, you guys. So coming in at number one, and if you didn't guess this, you're crazy. But the number one animated movie of 2024 is The Wild Robot. You guys, The Wild Robot is straight up incredible. Honestly, this film belongs in the same conversation as WALL-E and The Iron Giant. Robots that are just too good for us. I mean, Chris Sanders, who's clearly one of the best storytellers working in animation right now, has crafted something breathtakingly beautiful here. This isn't just a kid's movie. It's a deeply moving meditation on belonging, identity, and what it means to be a human, told through the most unlikely of protagonists, a robot. When I finished this movie, I was still wiping tears away from my eyes. I knew it was supposed to be good, but I had no idea it would hit me this hard. The story is so sweet, so rich with emotion that it makes you want to be a better person. And let's be real, why is The Wild Robot not a serious contender for Best Picture at the Oscars? Let me just ask that. It's that good. It is the kind of film that makes you feel things in a way that's both simple and profound. And it's honestly a crime if more people don't see it. I mean, it's simply put, it's stunning. All right, you guys. So that is my top 10 best animated movies of 2024 and some bad ones. But tell me what your guys' list is. I mean, as far as animated movies go, I mean, you can add Sonic 3 if you want in there. I didn't add Sonic 3 in here because I put it in my best movies of 2024 list, and I didn't want to, have crossover. So Wild Robot would have been in my best movies of 2024. But again, I didn't want to have crossover. I just wanted to keep it to one list and everything. But tell me what you guys thought about these movies. What's your list? What do you disagree with me on some of them? Like, I know some people might love Flow and hate Ultraman Rising, but this is my list, so back off. Also, if it's not on my list, I didn't see it, so sorry about that. But tell me what you guys thought about all of these. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my next video. You guys have a good day. Bye.